The scuffed up shoes and the broken toys. We were just the girl and the loudest of boys, running through the garden, hiding in the rain, sharing every secret, doubling the pain. Now the hallways are longer and the stories are grown, but you're the only map to the place I call home.
Oh, we are siblings, the blood and the bone, standing in the light that the years have shown. From the playground dust to the world so wide, I've got your back and you've got my pride. Beyond the years, beyond the time.
And here are your hosts, Jen and Chris.
Hi, and welcome to our very first broadcast of Siblings. My name is Chris.
And my name is Jan.
Some of you may be wondering why we are animated for the podcast rather than showing ourselves in real life. Well, there are two reasons. One, our cartoons do actually look a little like us, and arguably is more pleasing to the eye.
And the second reason is that I think we look better looking. And we don't want those with too much time on their hands to display anything that could be seen as not nice behaviour.
So that really is it. It's going to be me and my sis covering topics regular and that are current, important to us, and hopefully important to you too.
I'm based in the southeast of the UK.
And I'm based right in the middle in the Midlands.
We really want you, the viewers, to be involved in our future discussions and fun, don't we, Chris?
Absolutely. And if anyone has a view, wants to include a topic, or even just wants a shout out, please email siblingschatuk@gmail.com.
That's siblingschatuk@gmail.com.
And do subscribe if you can. We'll do our best to include you. So how's your week been, Jan?
It's been really good, thanks, Chris. I had a fantastic 4 days with you guys. Went on a lovely boating trip. Went to a zoo. We played some fun games, which can I just say that I won most of the prizes. My best prize ever was my big teddy bear, because I'm a collector of teddy bears. I've got a room dedicated to it. And we had some fun family time playing games. Went to the safari. Did I say the safari?
Yeah. I mean, it was a real pleasure to have you guys stay with us. So for the people watching, Jan, her husband, her daughter, and her grandson all came to stay with me, my partner, and we had a fantastic time, didn't we? A lot of laughs.
I think you're missing somebody. Fluffy and furry.
Oops, sorry, my mistake. I did in fact forget the most important person, which was Jan's dog.
Yes, not to be forgotten.
I am so sorry. And he was very well behaved.
He was, yeah.
Okay, even at the zoo.
Yeah, at the zoo. Yeah, he loves all the animals.
He didn't bark at the giraffes or the penguins or anything, did he?
No, well, I would have given him one of my mum looks if he had especially growled at the giraffes.
But it was a great day, wasn't it? And of course, we were blessed with the weather too.
Yeah, I got a touch burn.
Did you?
Yeah, my arms. Yeah, I got, and my nose.
And I know your daughter came back looking like she'd just been to Spain rather than the Midlands. So all in all, a good week, eh?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Yeah, I always look forward to those times.
So shall we crack on and have a look at the first topic that we're going to discuss for today's episode?
Yeah, we can do.
Excellent. So, first topic that we're going to discuss in our current affairs is one that's been on the news quite a bit recently, and it's been quite a divisive topic, really, hasn't it, Jan? It's the
Yeah.
subject of Nicola Sturgeon. And the fact that she came out after an interview with Laura Kunsberg on Sunday and saying that she feels that she's very much a victim of somebody else's crime and she's paying the price for it.
Mm.
What's your views, Jan? Do you think she's a victim?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I'm very much an eyes person. When somebody's talking, I generally sort of gauge by their eyes. Um, I think the eyes are the windows to the soul, and I think that's very true. And just the whole interview, I just really felt for her. Um,
She was quite emotional at times, wasn't
she
she?
was, yeah, and it sort of brought a lump to my throat. The personal side of it, putting aside her as a politician, which is important, but the fact is, she's a human being. She's the wife, and she's been hurt and betrayed and publicly humiliated by her husband. Well, her then husband, because they're not together anymore.
Do you think she carries any guilt? Because there's a lot of people sort of saying that because the items he was buying her, which wasn't with his money or
Mm.
hers, they were quite noticeable, big gifts, expensive gifts. I think there was even talk about a salt and pepper grinder, wasn't there, that was worth thousands of pounds. Do you think
Yeah, but
she
I
should have noticed these things?
Yeah, but like she said, I mean, in a lot of marriages, I can't say this about myself personally, but in a lot of other, other people's marriages, they have, their own separate income and separate banks. But they were both in very, very high paid jobs. So, and I think distracting from personal life to public life and the government side, the SNP side, all of that would be to me quite a big distraction. If you've been married to that person all those years, and in the last, I think she said, was it 3 or 4 years? He'd been. How long had he been embezzling the money? Was
I
it
think
four
they
years?
yeah, they estimate it was over a period of years, don't they? And I think I mean, I think I believe that he's not being sentenced as yet. I think that's
No.
imminent. But I just think, it's one of those situations, I think, until you put yourself in those shoes, it's
Mm.
difficult. And if I try to imagine that my other half was coming home with really expensive gifts and things for the home, yeah, if I had a well-paid job, I would probably not question maybe the amount of money being spent, but I would probably question why we had discussed spending that kind of money on things. And I
But
know
then
there
it
was
was
like
his money,
an
as far as she was concerned. It was out of his own money. He was in a high paid job. She never knew what was in his bank, no more than he knew what was in her bank.
so
So
if your husband came home one day with a very, very expensive sports car,
yeah.
and it was on the drive,
Hmm.
but he was in a well-paid job, so it wasn't something he necessarily wouldn't be able to afford.
Mm.
But you think because of the relationship you've got with your husband that the unusual thing was he just didn't discuss it with you first?
No, I think he was going through a midlife crisis. Or I would ask him where the other woman was, the young blonde version of me was.
But it would create suspicion. And I think that's where people are struggling that don't see her just as a victim. I mean, I'm a great believer you can't blame somebody else for other crimes. And that
No.
even includes family members, doesn't it? When you hear sometimes about the most horrific crimes that some people commit, and then you find out
Mm.
family members are actually targeted. And I often think, hold on, they're often a victim in another sense when that happens. I'm not saying
Mm.
they're as much a victim as the person that is the victim, but they are still a victim of quite often. prejudice, society,
Mm.
other crimes. And I just
I
think,
just had I just got I believed her vibes. I just got that from her. Um, I think very she's always been personally from my observation always been a straight talking woman. Um, I can't say I believe all politicians or MPs are honest because we know what the news has been telling us especially over the last 5 years anyway. But just the way she came across to me is that she had the wool pulled over her eyes. I mean, I've been married for 34 years, and um, I wholeheartedly trust my husband. Wouldn't deceive me, wouldn't lie to me, wouldn't be underhanded with me. And she was also married for not as many number of years, but a good amount of years to know whether she could trust him or not. And she believed that she could because he'd never given her reason not to. So
what do you
you
think
wouldn't think
comes
that.
what do you think comes first though, Jan? Do you think she had an obligation to her role as First Minister of Scotland and leader of the SNP? Do you
Hmm.
think that should have taken precedence over being a wife? And the reason why I ask that question is because in those roles as being the leader of the SNP in particular, she wasn't aware that money was going out of the funds that were donated to that party.
Yeah,
She
but
wasn't
she
aware
was
of that.
saying, wasn't she? I can't remember all of the interview. I'm not very good with these things really, but um, didn't she say something about the treasurer hadn't, brought it to her attention? There was any concern. I do remember Laura Kunsberg saying that a few members of her party were highlighting there was a problem with money that was being spent they weren't sure of. Um,
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I did find was a bit hypocritical about the show was the panel as well, Jan, because there was an awful lot of people on there, and that old adage of people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. A lot
oh,
of the people
exactly.
were representing their own parties,
Yeah.
having their own parties have been a bit naughty in the past, or certainly members of their
Oh,
party.
yeah. Yeah.
But it doesn't help, does it, when there's a problem with trusting politicians when you get
But this
these.
is more than, this is more than, this isn't, I wouldn't say probably more than that, but on a personal level for her, this is not only about the political side of her life, but it's also about her personal life. And one she walked away from, and probably thought, I'm going to spend the rest of my years with my husband, enjoying the rest of my life. And now this, it's literally, I know it would crush my world.
Yeah, and I don't think those were crocodile tears either that she
No,
was.
no.
Okay, well, viewers, what do you think? Do you agree with Jan? Do you agree with the view that she did have responsibility? What would you have done in her shoes? Would you have been aware if your partner had suddenly started to buy lavish items, even if they did earn a lot? Get in touch with us on our usual email, and we'll see if we can include some of your comments on the next show.
Bouncing along on the tractor seat, tapping my toes to a happy beat. What a glorious sunny day.
Okay, welcome back. We're now going to have a quick chat about something that's quite topical. It's been in the news recently, and it's obviously to do with celebrity stuff and things on television and that kind of thing. And this was something that I know is very close to your heart, wasn't it, Jan? It was the choir that won Britain's Got Talent. And we're
Yeah,
obviously,
the
sorry,
Hawkston Choir,
yeah,
the Hawkston Farmers Choir.
Yeah, and we were asking, weren't we, whether or not it's just an ordinary choir that has won Britain's Got Talent, because there's been quite a lot of hype. So, what makes them special, Jan?
Um, because they were put together, originally put together for the Jeremy Clarkson's Hawkston Brewery advertisement, and it was so successful amongst the choir members that they were able to come together as a group and not only just sing but share experiences, talk openly about their concerns and worries and their good times as well. But it just really helped with their mental health, so they stayed together, and I think it has really helped. I think highlight the mental health problems that have been kept quiet. I think amongst the farming community, and it's nice that they're able to speak up and know that there is somebody there. It's not such a taboo subject. Um, farmers, they work long, lonely hours. Sowing and planting. Their seeds and bulbs and everything, and into the early hours of the morning, and up early hours of the morning. And yeah, I quite liked as well in one of their songs, the original that they produced themselves, and sung. I think the night they actually won Britain's Got Talent, and it said about planting their dreams. And I thought, what a lovely, lovely way to explain what passion is involved in what they do. Um, it's just a tough industry, I think, because of how our country is run. Not particularly the world is run, but how our country is run by our government. The high taxes that they have to pay. Um, for a job that goes back in. It's not just a job, it's a family business that goes back generations. I heard one farmer speak of he was the actual fifth generation, and a lot of these farmers, they're losing their family home and their family business.
It's really interesting, actually, Jan, because just as I've been listening to you, I've been having a look online, and it shows that 95% of young farmers under 40 believe that mental health is the biggest hidden problem facing
Yeah.
farmers today.
Yeah,
And
and a lot of lives, a lot of lives have been taken by suicide as well, which is, what a devastating state to get into before it's recognised. Like now, it's highlighted that it's taken all of that, and the getting together of not just this choir, but of farmers speaking up about the hardships and the loneliness that gets a farmer to that point where they take their own life, and the sheer utter worry. This is their home, their livelihood, and like I've said, it's part of their family. It's part of their DNA.
and I think as well that we take for granted that they live in this wonderful, beautiful,
Mm,
isolated countryside to do their role. But that's just it. It's isolated, and
yeah,
therefore they don't have always the support network that people take for granted in the cities and the major places.
yeah,
Excuse me. And I noticed as well that originally they were going to be TV ads. They were going to be used for TV
yeah,
ads, but they got banned from television. So they are available online if anybody wants to have a look at those, but they're not ever going to appear on television. It didn't meet the criteria, whatever that might be, for being
yeah.
broadcast in this country. But you'll be pleased to know I've started to watch the Clarksons farming program. I think
Oh,
I'm
I
on to
love it.
I think I'm on to episode 3. And if
Yeah,
nothing else, it really does highlight as well the struggle and the red tape that people have to, I mean, in some respects, Jeremy Clarkson kind of puts people off going into farming, doesn't he? Because it's just like
Yeah,
one hurdle after another. You know, you suddenly have a great idea to try and make some money from what you do, and then you find out, well, actually,
yeah.
it's not as simple as that.
I
And
don't know, I don't know if there was any, if he's got any background history on farming or whether he just jumped aboard and just enjoyed it. And, you know, I don't know. But for what he's done and the coverage of how much red tape that farmers have to go through to have their business running.
and this is a question that, and just because I'm asking it doesn't mean to say I agree with it, what I'm
Mhm.
saying, but I'm just asking the question because I know that there are people out there who might think this. Do you think entertainment programs, particularly talent programs, should be used for to provide a platform really for political messages like, the government hasn't exactly helped farmers, that kind of thing. And I'm not narrowing that down to one government. I don't think any of the governments have been particularly farmer friendly. Um, but should we be using entertainment platforms for
I
political
well,
messages?
yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why not, if all other avenues have been tried. But even if, they have, and this is just an extra boost to, to be recognised, I can't see anything wrong in that, no.
I think what I like about this group and this particular story, Jan, is the fact that they started off as a commercial outfit to try and, Jeremy Clarkson, as we know, set the group up, didn't he? And it was to make advertisement for his brewery company, as you said right at the beginning.
Yeah,
It's mutated into being more of a message now for those people going through a mental health crisis. And
yeah,
thank God for them bringing that to people's attention.
yeah. I just think well done them for doing this because, hopefully, it's going to support a lot of people that are just really going through a rough time. And if it reaches out to even one person and, you know, um, they get the much needed support that they now know is out there and it saves their life, well, then it's got to be a plus, isn't it?
Absolutely. And before we finish on this subject, Jen, I just want to give out the number for anybody, not just farmers, but anybody. If you ever feel that you do need someone to speak to, please do speak to those wonderful people who are trained to listen to you. They're not going to judge you, they're just going to listen to you. And that's the people at the Samaritans. And their number is 116 123. That's 116 123. And for farmers in particular, you might be aware or not be aware, but there is a group specifically to help people with mental health in the farming community. And it's known as the yellowwellies.org group. And you can go find their website on Yellow Wellies, that's all one word, yellowwellies.org. And that's it. You'll get through to the website, and there'll be lots and lots of resources and advice and ways to
Yeah,
contact them on there.
fantastic people.
Great stuff.
Siblings, 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 siblings.